it's Kim and Jane again, and this time we're going to talk about the up and down game. Now, the up and down game is a great way to get our dog's attention and reinforce them for orienting to us and to give us eye contact. Okay, so let's think about those two behaviors. So my dog oriented to me is this, my dog is facing me, and then eye contact is my dog looking me in the eye. Now, if my dog is doing that, she can't be barking at the dog that's across the street, or running after the cat, or chasing the kids, or whatever it might be. This is a great alternative behavior to any of that other stuff that could be happening. This is also a pattern game. So the idea is we're repeating this behavior, and I'll show you the behavior soon, over and over and over again. Now, why are we doing that? Our dogs thrive on predictability. So if they can predict the environment, they can predict what's gonna happen, we're gonna get better behavior from that, okay? In the sense of our dog's gonna be more confident, more comfortable, more focused on us because they're not worried about what's going on around them. Patterns are predictable, right? If I know that the same thing's gonna keep happening over and over and over again, that's comforting for me, that's predictable for me. So this is a pattern game to create predictability for our dogs and reinforce the eye contact and orientation to us. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what the up and down game looks like. I'm going to start with a handful of treats, and generally I can either have the treats in my treat pouch or I can have a handful. If your dog tends to focus on a handful of treats, keep them in your treat pouch, okay? I'm going to use the marker word yes to tell my dog that looking at me is what I would like her to do. If you're familiar at all with clicker training, you can also click for the eye contact. Totally up to you though, using the word yes is completely fine. So the way this game is gonna start is I'm going to take a treat and I'm gonna put it down at my feet. My dog can eat the treat. As soon as she eats it and then looks up at me, I'm going to say yes, and then put another treat on the ground. And then I'm just gonna practice that over and over and over again. Sorry, I took too long for Jane. So I'm gonna put the treat on the ground. She's gonna eat it, yes. She looks at me, so I say yes, and then a treat goes on the ground. Yes. 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 Good girl. Okay, station. So my saying yes is telling Jane that you giving me eye contact is what's gonna earn you another treat. And then I'm gonna just keep continuing that game over and over and over again. Can you please lie down? Thank you. So this is a game you're gonna wanna practice at home when there's minimal distractions, and then once your dog gets fluent and comfortable with the pattern, as soon as you put that cookie on the ground, she looks right up at you because she knows that's what's coming next. Then you can start to take this on the road. Now, speaking about taking it on the road, when do I use this game? So Jane in particular tends to get a little bit distracted or aroused in certain situations. Sudden environmental contrast changes are especially triggering for her. So generally what I would do with Jane is before I go for a walk with her, I have her collar and leash on, I'm gonna stand at the front door and we're gonna play the up and down game. And I'm gonna get her nice and focused, and she's got that predictability of that pattern. Then I'm gonna open the door, we're gonna play some more. Then we're gonna step through the door onto the front steps, play some more up and down. And then I'll also use it throughout our walk just to get her refocused on me. You can also use this for a dog who tends to get very, worked up when they see another dog or a person or a car or something on the walk. You can play this game when that distraction is occurring. So if I see a dog way up ahead, I'll start playing that up and down game with Jane, and now she's got that predictability, right? I know what happens right now. I get to just play this game with mom while that other dog walks by. Now, the one key here is we don't only want to play this game when our dog is potentially distracted, okay? So if your dog tends to have triggers that get them worked up, We're not only playing the up and down game around those triggers, we're also gonna do it when it's nice and easy. So at home, maybe before you put their kibble down, you can play the up and down game a few times. When you're out for a walk, if there's nothing going on, things are nice and quiet, play some up and down game. We don't want our dogs to learn that as soon as I put a cookie on the ground, that means because I'm trying to distract you from some sort of trigger. We want it to just be out of nowhere, all of a sudden I'm gonna just put this cookie down and we get to play this game. There might be another dog walking by, there might not be. So we don't want the game to mean that there is a trigger. So just as a reminder, we're simply putting a treat on the ground that my dog can eat. They're gonna eat that treat. As soon as they look up at me, I'm gonna say yes, and then put another treat on the ground. One final note is sometimes we find that dogs are a little too distracted, and lie down please, and we put the treat on the ground, they eat it, and then they get distracted and go off somewhere else. What I would do in that situation is I would say yes as soon as my dog eats the treat, or click if you're using a clicker, and then immediately put another treat down. So basically, we're not waiting for that eye contact. We're just saying if you eat a treat and for a split second you're staying in front of me, I'm gonna put another treat on the ground. So that would look like I would put a treat on the ground, yes, yes. And I would just, yes, kind of rapid fire, yes. And then once I've got my dog nice and focused, then I'll start waiting for a little bit more, like some eye contact or something like that. Okay, so that is the up and down game. A great pattern game to use when you're going through thresholds, when there are distractions, and then just overall, just to reinforce your dog for nice, good eye contact.